It's believed that secret organizations run many things around the world. But is a secret organization of lizard people running the world and trying to enslave humans? Follow me down the rabbit hole to find out. Hello, friends, and welcome back to the rabbit hole. I'm your host, Danny, and today we are finally talking about lizard people. And I know, you've been waiting for it. I've been holding out on you. And this is up there among like JFK, where you guys are like, why haven't you done JFK yet? Because everybody does JFK, and I'm trying to give you guys some of these like conspiracies that are smaller, less known, kind of a fun little mix, right? So we've done a couple big ones. We've done Princess Diana. We've done MK Ultra. We've done the Denver airport. That's a really popular one. You guys love the Denver airport episode. I've thought about making a YouTube of it because you guys love it so much. But here we are. Lizard people. What the heck is going on with these lizard people? Well, first of all, they are the reptilian elite of blood-drinking, flesh-eating, shape-shifting, reptilian humanoids that have infiltrated the highest tiers of governments and companies. I know, you already know this, but here I am giving you a little bit more. The only goal of these creatures is to enslave the human race. Which, I feel like if that is their only goal, they're doing a bad job. They for sure could have enslaved us by now. We're just not, we're easy to enslave. Enslave us. Look around. We're all enslaved to our phones. Maybe that was the goal. Maybe they're just trying to see how far they can go with it. I don't know. But here's where I'm at with it. Also, I've been drinking a little bit. So, follow me down this journey of drunk lizard people. I'm not drunk. I've just been drinking a little bit. Anyway, according to David Icke, they are our leaders, our corporate executives, Elon Musk, Oscar-winning actors, Grammy-winning singers. They are responsible for the Holocaust, the Oklahoma City bombing, the attacks on 9/11, all these different things. The JFK assassination, Princess Diana's death, so many things. But I'm sure you're wondering, who the heck is David Icke? I'm glad you asked because I put it in my notes. So David Icke was a footballer, or soccer for you Americans out there, and sports broadcaster who was also a very outspoken English conspiracy theorist. And in fact, he was shunned from the UK because of how outspoken he's been. And I know you're going to ask, but I do have an email in to see if he will be a guest on our show. I haven't heard back. The likelihood is low, but I sent the email anyway. So if that happens, that would be really cool. In 1998, Icke released a book called The Biggest Secret, and two people in this book that he interviewed claimed that the British family were not humans, but lizard people. But also that George W. Bush, Henry Kissinger, Bill and Hillary Clinton, and Bob Hope are all lizard people. And it goes on and on. According to Icke, the Anunnaki, an ancient species of prehistoric alien demigods, came from the Orion, Sirius, and Draco constellations, created humans, and then created a reptile-human hybrid. And lizard people drink human blood, which allows them to shapeshift into human form. So they are really lizard people, but they drink our blood in order to shift into what we see. But if you look really close, sometimes you can see them shifting between their regular self and their human self. So if you guys stay with me here for a second, right? So we have this Justin Bieber episode that I did back with Justin Bieber, they were sacrificing their baby. Him and Selena Gomez had a baby, and I did this episode for my friend, and she really appreciated it. But I didn't really I didn't read too much into it. I was like, this is stupid. This is weird. Well, you know what? I messed up because I should have done the lizard people episode before that. Because in that episode, I go into how Justin Bieber said that this group of high profile people were drinking blood, like baby blood. And he was like, that's really weird. They're sacrificing babies. Well, then you go to the Queen Elizabeth episode where I'm like, yeah, well, people say that they've seen dead bodies in her freezers and that she's drinking blood and all these things. You have all these connections to these elites drinking human blood. And every time you look into it, every time you hear it, you're like, that's crazy. Elites don't drink human blood. These people don't do this. But then you bring it all back to this lizard people episode. And one of the biggest things that lizard people need to shapeshift is to drink human blood. So is it all connected? The whole time I was doing this episode, the more I did research into it, the more I looked into it, I was like, this is too convenient. It's just too coincidental that I did both those episodes, and every single time we talk about like the elites of the world, they drink human blood. Why is that always the thing? That's always the theme when we see these elites. And here we are, lizard people need to drink human blood in order to shapeshift into human form. And it all makes sense. I mean, in a lot of those episodes, the thought is that they're drinking human blood to stay young, but eventually everyone dies. So, are they really lizard people drinking human blood to stay in human form? And this isn't something that just a couple people believe. 12% of millennials believe that the world is being ruled by lizard people or lizards in human form. A little over 1 in 10 people believe this. Like, that's a lot. I get more people in my house for a Christmas party. So you're telling me that this many people believe that our world, the entire world, not just our government, but all the governments are being ruled by lizards, and it's not true? And also, where did this come from? Like, yes, David Icke talked about it, but like, what the heck? Well, don't you worry, because I did the research. So if you're looking back in time, which we love to look back in time to learn about our history, right? So in South and Southeast Asian mythology appears a creature. The creature is half human, half serpent, and it's called a naga. You've probably seen pictures of this creature. It's like the top half is human and the bottom half is a snake. And these nagas are divine or semi-divine race that live in the netherworld, which they call Patala. In yoga, naga and kala are used synonymously, but naga means snake and kala means time. I know I'm throwing out all these weird words, but don't worry. I'm getting to a point. So if you look around in Southeast Asian countries, more specifically India, you see a snake representing time a lot. Like a lot. So they have a snake. They have lots of different snakes and like different like divine creatures that are like in their mythology and in their belief system. But they have this one snake, it's called Ananta. And Ananta means eternal. And there's a symbol with the snake that forms an infinity sign called Kala Sarpa. So this snake, like the bottom part that like is the snake part, is in an infinity sign, and the top part is a human form. And they call the snake Ananta, which means eternal, and the infinity sign obviously means infinite, continuous. They also have the Shisha Naga. So Shisha means residue. This is where things get really weird, guys. Like, this is where my brain was a little bit, like, blown. When the galaxy collapses, there will be some residue left. Shisha, right? Shisha means residue. The Shisha Naga is the one who is left over from previous creations. According to Sadhguru, an influential yogi, mystic, best-selling author, and poet in India. And I watched him give this speech in India, and so that's one of the YouTubes I linked in the show notes. One who is left over is very vital for the next creation to happen, to have some kind of information which can go into the next making of the creation.
Did you know that over 40% of Americans have a hard time swallowing pills? So when it's time to take your vitamins, large capsules and pills are out of the question. We know that gummy vitamins exist, but they're full of sugar, they get stuck in your teeth, and they only contain a fraction of the nutrients you need. Luckily, Easy Melts has discovered the ultimate vitamin sweet spot. Vitamins that melt in your mouth, taste like a treat, and are packed with nutrients ready for absorption, all without an ounce of sugar. For a limited time, Easy Melts is giving listeners a free 3-month supply of vitamin D3 with their first purchase. To claim your free D3 vitamins, visit try.easymelts.com/spring24. That's melts.com/spring24. Say goodbye to the old way of taking your vitamins and say hello to the easy way. Menopausal and perimenopausal women, listen up. It's time to take control of your health and comfort, and Winona is here to help. Winona is a telemedicine company for menopause care who believes that your symptoms are real, important, and deserve to be taken seriously. And for many women, this starts with hormone replacement therapy. Winona's HRT is made with plant-based, bioidentical hormones rather than synthetic ones, so it better aligns with your body to offer relief from hot flashes, weight gain, and other uncomfortable symptoms. 80% of women who use Winona find relief within just 90 days. So, what are you waiting for? Get started today. Visit buywinona.com today to start your free visit. With free shipping and the ability to pause or cancel at any time, your path to wellness has zero obligations. Use code SPRING24 at buywinona.com for 25% off your first treatment plan. That's BYWINONA.com for 25% off. Winona, menopause care made easy.
So basically what I gathered from this, I'm putting all these things together. So they believe that the galaxy or like the universe, everything, not just like our planet, but like the Milky Way, the whole universe, everything has collapsed before. And the shisha is the residue that's left over, but that shisha is a naga, which is like a half human, half snake thing, or half serpent, which is a snake. It's this weird divine creature, right? So they believe that it has collapsed before and it 100% will collapse again. So when it does, a naga will be the residue that's left behind from our current universe. And that's what's going to move forward to create the next everything, basically. If we go by the Southeast Asian understanding of reptiles, they are here always. So when our creation collapses, which it will, the reptiles will live on and create a new creation, or at least like the basis of creation. So that's where you find this like lizard people, serpent, reptile thing. It's not really lizard people, it would be snake people technically, in Southeastern Asian countries, except wait, it's also in Native American culture. So the Hopi Native American tribe, I'm assuming it's Hopi. I had it spoken to me from the internet and that's how it said. It could be Hopi, sounds less likely. I'm going to go with Hopi here. If you are either a part of the Hopi tribe or Native American or just know how to say this word better and I'm just messing it up, please let me know. You guys know by this point, like I mess up all kinds of words. So, the Hopi Native American tribe referred to their distant ancestors as snake brothers. Well, that's weird. Snake brothers. Why? These are a highly intelligent reptilian race. And according to oral mythology, basically stories passed down, these humanoids constructed massive subterranean bases all throughout the southwestern region of the U.S., Mexico, and Central America. So one of these cities is said to be located in downtown Los Angeles, and it was found. We found it. Although, I don't know if you could find it again. I don't know what happened to it. But in 1933, way back in the day, so 90 years ago, while looking for like oil and gem deposits, Warren Schufelt, a mining engineer, revealed an unusual structure beneath the public library. Well, first of all, Schufelt, why are you looking for oil and gem deposits under the library? But that's a discussion for another day. After further examination, he uncovered an expansive labyrinth of tunnels weaving miles below Earth's surface. But of course, this guy was like, what the heck is this, right? So he goes down in these tunnels and he spends months mapping out all the details of the tunnel. He lays it all out. And when he finally like looks at his map after he feels like he's like done a good job, it's in the shape of a lizard. Well, that's weird. So then, after more investigating and more looking into things, he eventually is led to the Hopi chief, or to the Hopi tribe, and to a chief specifically named Little Greenleaf. After Shufelt learned about, the legends of subterrestrial lizard people, he shared what he had discovered. So basically, he realized that something might be going on with the Hopi tribe. So he went there to like ask them some questions, and they were like, "Oh yeah, we have these legends," and he was like, "Oh no way," because he was like, "This is what I found." Well, Chief Little Greenleaf and Warren Shufelt were like, "Oh no, we've found something here." They agreed that whatever this settlement of lizard, this was a settlement for lizard people at some point. And they even like struck a deal with the district representatives to excavate the area and to learn more. And they had to like give 50% of what they found, like the artifacts that they found, they had to give it to the government and probably to put it in a museum. But that's basically the last I found of it. I don't know if they actually excavated it. I don't know. I'm just assuming here. I don't know for sure, but I'm sure that somebody somewhere high up shut this down quickly. They were like, nope, we can't let them know that we have bases under the surface. And he just happened to stumble upon it. He had made this like basically like a radar type thing to find oil deposits and gem deposits so he could become rich. And then he ended up finding this like layer. So if you're wondering, this isn't like a new theory. David Icke just didn't one day like show up and be like, "Yep, I think lizard people run the world." That seems ridiculous, and nobody would have believed him. But you have all these, and I'm sure there's more evidence of history with like serpent people and lizard people and reptilian humanoids. But here's like two very, very distinct examples that this isn't like a new theory. This isn't something that's just like popped out of the woodwork in the last 30 years and we've just decided to believe it, that 12% of millennials believe it. No, this is something that has been around in legends, in oral mythology, and actual mythology. And don't get me wrong, I know mythology is based on myths, but in my opinion, everything had to come from somewhere. It's just my opinion. So, I'm sure you're wondering, how can I spot a reptilian humanoid? Well, at first when I read this list of things, I thought for sure my husband is a reptilian humanoid because, well, he's got reddish hair and he's got green hazel eyes. But that's all he has, and this is a long list of things. So, he also has a love of space and science. He does love that. So basically, to spot a reptilian humanoid, the person needs to have reddish hair. I was like, oh no, my husband checks that box. Good eyesight or hearing, or maybe both. I mean, it could be either. In one of the videos, like one of the YouTubes I watched, the guy was like, yeah, if I had good eyesight, if I was a lizard person, I would wear glasses just to throw people off. No, I mean, he's not wrong. I would probably do the same thing if you're that smart. They probably have low blood pressure, so they're probably like super chill. Again, my husband checks that box. He's like the most calm person I know. They will have an extra sensory perception, so ESP. UFO connections, like they just know that the aliens are near. I don't know. Weird. They have a love of space and science. They have green hazel eyes that can change color, but these also might be blue eyes, which is pretty broad. I mean, hazel eyes can look pretty brown. If they just have a little bit of green in them, they could be called hazel. I don't know. This is a pretty broad stroke there. They have a sense of not belonging to the human race. Which, I mean, maybe these things, like, look within. Are you a lizard person? They have a deep compassion for the fate of mankind. So like, what's going to happen? Is a world war going to end mankind? Which I think we can all agree that probably. And they also have unexplained scars. So if you, again, you go to my show notes. I link everything for you guys just in case you want to go look. So if you go to the note that is alientachufotachresearch.com, there, it's the very last show note. There are some videos on that website. And these videos are kind of weird. And they are videos of lizard people in the world that have been like caught, basically. So there's a video of Hillary Clinton shapeshifting and Viktor Yushchenko, who is the Ukrainian president, showing his scales. So maybe they just didn't drink enough blood that morning. There are also videos of people's eyes showing that they're lizards. Like, so for example, in one of the videos I was watching, one of the eyes looks completely normal, like a human eye. And the other eye looks completely lizard-like, like full on. It's hard to miss because like the entire video, they don't even have to slow down the video. The entire time he's talking, one of his eyes is like totally normal. The other eye is not normal. So I'm just thinking like maybe they didn't drink enough blood. They didn't complete their shift. Maybe they didn't know their eyes were doing that. I don't know. There's also videos of like influential people frog breathing. And so they basically move their entire necks. It's kind of hard to explain. It would be better if you guys went and watched the videos because basically they move their entire necks to be like bulgy like a frog would be, and then it like goes back to normal. And I know for like some people can just do that, like as an abnormality, they can make their throats bigger and then make them small. But in one of the videos in particular, he's talking about COVID. I don't know everything about it, but he is like swallowing or he's just breathing and his whole throat is like bulging and contracting like a frog would, and he's not meaning to do it. There's another video of like Katy Perry and she's bulging her throat, but she's doing it on purpose to be like, look at this cool like trick I can do. But this other guy, it's weird. It's really weird. And so I encourage you highly to go watch those videos. And tell me what you think. Do you guys believe in lizard people? Do you guys think that like lizard people are around? Do you think they're trying to enslave us? Do you think they're just like running the world? What do you think? I'm going to put a poll on Instagram as always. Please go check it out because I'm curious just what you guys think. And I know this is very last minute. I decided very recently that I'm going to take next week off as spring break. So that way I can just spend some time with my family, get my mental health back in check, and just like be a totally perfect member of society. And I'll come back in 2 weeks with a new episode. But until then, my friends, stay skeptical, and I will see you all in 2 weeks. 2 weeks. So that will be March 29th when the next episode comes out. So I'm skipping March 22nd, taking a spring break, and I'll be back March 29th with another episode for you guys. I have to do this every time now and then, like take breaks. So that way, it's a one-woman operation around here. I'm just doing it all myself. So sometimes I do need to take a solid like week off, little mental health check, and I'll come back with a fantastic episode. So until then, my friends, stay skeptical. I'll see you all soon. Hey friends, The Rabbit Hole is an independent podcast with everything you hear done by me, Danny Mercy. I appreciate all of your support. Please rate and review wherever you're listening. If you want to follow us on Instagram, it's at rabbit.holepodcast. And thank you, Zakar Balaha, for our awesome intro.